office almost 30 times. 30 times in the last 2 years. They told me they can't do nothing.
The defund the police rhetoric and the matriarchal culture in the black community is destroying young black life. What I'm about to show you is a video taken from Atlanta a few weeks ago, but honestly, I could have pulled this from any major city in the United States, where 2 young black boys died at the hands of other black boys. But no one's talking about this. This is not going to get much play outside of Atlanta because it is so commonplace, but it shouldn't be that way.
New tonight at 11, you just heard from the mother of Zion Charles, who's a 12-year-old boy killed after a fight escalated near Atlantic Station. It happened Saturday night. Now, earlier today, De'Erica Charles, Zion's mother, addressed the Atlanta Public Safety Committee during their meeting, saying she had begged the court system to help her with her son repeatedly. Then on Saturday night, her son, 12-year-old Zion Charles, was killed and 5 other kids hurt after a shooting near Atlantic Station, and police have not publicly identified any suspects just yet, but in a news conference Sunday, say that they have identified some of the people who were there and will start issuing warrants soon. Today, in response to Zion's death, Atlanta City Council member Keisha Waits proposed a 7 p.m. citywide curfew for people 17 and under.
I believe that this is another tool, given the shortage that we have in terms of law enforcement, that this will be another tool in their toolbox to possibly save lives of young people as well as the public at large.
Welcome back to the Biblical Conservative channel, where we come against the anti-God, anti-human, anti-biblical, anti-American spirit that is looking to prevail in this land. So I'm gonna play you a series of videos from Atlanta, where 2 young boys were killed a few weeks ago. 2 young boys. One was 12, I think one was 14 or 15. I'm not gonna mention their names, but they were killed senselessly. We don't know if it was an act of gang violence or whatnot, but it does not matter because this is a common refrain in the black community. You heard that, mother. That's the cry of pretty much every mother in the inner city, in the black community. And what has happened is the whole defund the police rhetoric that was prevalent after the death of George Floyd a couple years ago, and the matriarchal culture that was established by the government when they kicked the black man out of the house, and the black man kind of acquiesced to that. They didn't fight for their families. A lot of black men haven't fought for their families. That whole movement has led to what we see taking place in the lives of the young black males in the inner city. A lot of the black men are hurting. A lot of the young black men are hurting because they feel rejected by their fathers. They don't have strong relationships with their father. The father's not in the home, and the mother is trying the best she can, but more than likely she's working 2 jobs, so she cannot keep tabs on her son, who she's trying to raise correctly, because households fare better when they follow the biblical role model, when they follow the biblical order of a husband, a wife, and children. When the husband is the head of the house and the wife comes alongside to assist, and then the children are born in that union. But unfortunately, the Marxists and the communists and the progressives have implemented socialism in the black community, and we're seeing the fruits of it. It has resulted in a matriarchal culture that people are trying to come up with solutions that just don't work.
Leaders sounding an all too familiar tune tonight, addressing yet another deadly shooting in the city. Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Joe Ripley. We first brought you this as breaking news last night at 11. 1 person killed, 5 injured in a shooting near Atlantic Station. And today we've learned the lone fatality in that shooting was a 12-year-old boy. We began our team coverage tonight with 11 Alive's Dawn White. She was on the scene last night, and tonight she's back near the scene. So Dawn, what do we know right now?
Joe, just hours ago, the Fulton County Medical Examiner's Office identified that 12-year-old boy as Zion Charles. Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens, he said this afternoon that the 5 people who were shot here outside of Atlantic Station are all teenagers. The mayor also added that one of those teenagers is currently in the hospital in critical condition. And that teen, as well as a few others, are students in Atlanta public schools. Atlanta police tell 11 Alive off-duty officers escorted the group off the Atlantic Station property due to curfew violations and unruly behavior. Investigators say a fight broke out within the group close to the 17th Street Bridge, and there could be multiple shooters as 3 guns have been recovered. The mayor says several parents didn't know their kids were at Atlantic Station, which already has a heavy police presence this time of the year.
I'm a parent of a 17-year-old daughter in this city, and it is my everyday task to make sure I know where she is from time she goes to school to her volleyball practice to her after-school job to visiting friends. And so I'm asking parents right now that you use your phones, your Android or your iPhones. They all have trackers.
And I understand what the people are trying to do. I really get what they're trying to do. They're trying their best to solve a problem, but their solutions will not be long lasting. They're not sustainable. The only way this can change, number one, the country has to repent and turn back to God. Number one, that's the only way this can be solved, because we have unleashed spirits, dark demonic spirits into our land, especially into the black community that is looking to drive God out, and all that does is bring destruction. And when you have this, you can't solve a spiritual problem with secular humanistic solutions. You just can't. You have to provide the light. Only the light can drive out the darkness, and that light is Christ. And so if we bring back the light, we bring back structure, we bring back the man back into the household, then you will see changes take place in these communities. You will see boys that are raised in the fear and admonition of God, boys that are raised to trust in black men and men in general, who can trust authority, who will respect authority. Right now, these boys don't respect authority, and they don't value their own lives because they feel like their lives are not valuable, because no one took the time to tell them that they have a purpose and a plan, that God has a purpose and a plan for their lives. And it's frustrating because no one wants to address it. You don't see Black Lives Matter out here marching in Atlanta. You don't see none of that. You don't get the visibility from the media because the boys died at the hands of other black boys. If a police officer who was white would have shot them, oh, it would make front page news. You'll see marching in the streets. Al Sharpton and all the rest would have come to talk about it. You've seen Benjamin Crump down there talking about how we want justice. What about the justice for that mother who was crying, missing her son? What about that? Where's the justice in that? No, it does not fit the narrative that they want to tell us. The narrative that America is systemically racist. It doesn't fit that narrative. So therefore, you're not going to see this elevated at the top of your Twitter feed. It's not going to be trending on Twitter because it doesn't fit the narrative. But yet, this is the narrative. This is the real narrative that's taking place in every city throughout this land. But nobody wants to address it. Nobody wants to talk about it. Well, here we're going to talk about it because I'm tired of our children being made victims. We are not victims. We are empowered for greatness. We will do what we can to bring light to this situation and to do what we can to shed the light of the truth of the gospel in these communities, to make change, to inspire men to rise up and be who God says they can be so they can parent their children. Parents, stop letting your children be destroyed. Your children are being destroyed and you don't even know it. The defund the police movement, the matriarchal system, is destroying young black life.